I would have to look up the actual occupancy load on our system so that they give you a real answer. I don't want to just shoot a number out there.
Okay, are they aware that there is a capacity limit on that application? Well, what's on the application? There's no,
As far as occupancy, I would leave that all up to
Oh.
the fire chief.
So, Mr. Attorney, I guess, and maybe Chief, you would have this, I don't think. So whether they're drinking wine or they're drinking tea, what does the capacity change? I don't think so.
I probably would venture to say no. I think the capacity is set regardless of the type of event. I think I don't know if that makes a difference, but Chief might be able to say more.
Occupancy load is set by the classification of the building, whether it be mercantile, business, restaurant, assembly. That sets the amount that could be in there if we measure it.
Mr. Mayor, if I could. And the occupant would need to meet all requirements associated with public health, safety, well-being, and the provisions within the city code.
no other questions? Thank you.
So with that being said, I guess I'll entertain a motion to return to regular session.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
A motion by Councilman Montoya, a second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Casey? Yes. Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Yes. Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve the application for the liquor license application.
A motion by Councilor Casey. Do I have a second by Councilman Martinez? Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of council, I actually appreciate the question related to presence of the applicant, and I'll have communication with our internal team so that we could maybe set forth some standard practice and policy, because I think it's appropriate and prudent to have a representative for presentations coming forward. So I just duly noted.
Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our second business item, discussion on information for an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Las Vegas, Luna Community College, New Mexico Highlands University, and Department of Transportation. Mr. City Manager Anaya.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, if I could have President Wolf, if you could come forward. Department of Transportation, if you could also come forward. I don't know if we have a representative. I know Dr. Linder was at LFC hearings today. I think you maybe were there as well. But I would also like to have Mr. Lopez come forward as well. So my general introduction, and we'll bring back an item for consideration by the mayor and council, but I wanted to provide a brief discussion point and make sure that the mayor and council are aware of what's being discussed. Is the essence is that we have opportunities for our neighbors in Luna Community College and New Mexico Highlands University to access additional resources by partnering with us. It will not have a detrimental impact to our applications for funding, but it will greatly augment the ability of both Luna Community College as well as New Mexico Highlands University to access larger pools of resources that can help with their facilities and infrastructure. And so I'd like to first go to NMDOT, if you could kind of introduce yourselves, give some background to the mayor and council as to what we're looking at, and then I'll defer to President Wolf for any additional comments he'd like to make as well.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Good evening, City Manager. Thank you for having us here today. My name is John Herrera. I'm the Project Manager for Local Government Road Fund with Department of Transportation. We oversee 7 counties, 24 municipalities, and about 14 school districts within our district here at District 4. I have with me Miss Monica Duran, who's also with District 4. She's our project coordinator. We've reached out to the city to ask if they would help partner with New Mexico Highlands University and Luna College to apply for funding through the DOT through our Transportation Project Fund, which we have a lot of dollars that go to our entities for funding of parking lots, ADA compliance, lighting, sidewalks, roadways, you name it. We try to get it done within our entities. So we reached out, we had a few meetings, we had conversations. The Transportation Project Fund is a fund that is 95% paid by DOT with a 5% match. There's also a match waiver which is allowed, but being that we're gonna do a partnership, the match would have to come from the entity, which would be NMHU or Luna Community College. We just wanted to come and let you guys know that it's not an impact, it's just being a partnership, and the city would be the physical agent for getting these funds for the university or for Luna Community College. I'll let Monica speak.
Thank you, John. Monica?
No, I believe Mr. John Herrera pretty much summed it up. We're just looking for you guys to be the fiscal agent for our colleges, just because they can't access these types of funds. With the help and the combination of you guys being that fiscal agent for them, it would allow them to pull into that pool of money. Again, it does not affect you guys as far as applying and if you guys were to get funds and then they would to pull funds as well, because we're looking at it as two separate types of transactions with us. So we just saw it as a great opportunity to partner with our local colleges to help like, well, you guys talked about community development and that type of issue. So getting the roads and things up to par for them as well, so that way it's cohesive throughout the whole city, not just in parts of it.
Thank you.
President Wu?
Mr. And I think I was able to attend Mr. President Wolf's State of the University address, and he had a lot of money, so he must have bought a faster car than Luna Community College. Am I correct? Is that-
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome.
Chief, I was going 84 on the highway, so I apologize for that. Didn't make it back. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. I think this is a great example of partnering in ways that we maybe haven't in the past. One of the things that we've tried to do over the past year is invest in Las Vegas. One of the challenges is if you may not know it, the roads on campus are owned by the university. And by this partnership, we'll be able to focus on the connection between the campus and the city. And we'll focus first on the perimeter roads, make the parking lots, the roads, the lighting more efficient, I almost said more better. But better, so that city citizens can come on the campus in a different way. We have, just in today's enrollment numbers, our Las Vegas enrollment has grown by 7% compared to last year. Our new freshmen are up by 33%. Our new transfer students are up by 24%. And so one of the things that we're doing is better investing here in Las Vegas, and I think this is a good project that students would be able to have a better community. And so we greatly appreciate the opportunity to have these discussions and be creative in using the funds that are provided by DOT. And we would actually, one of the cool things about it is it would allow us to, as we make improvements, for example, along 10th, that goes in front of Wilson and behind the football stadium, allow better lights for football and for people as they walk and have better bike paths, but also allow us to put lights on softball and baseball and light up the Riverwalk a little bit better there as well. Make those spaces more accessible for hosting community tournaments or things like that. And so we want to make Highlands more of a partner with the city, and I think by leveraging you guys' access to these funds, we're just very appreciative of both DOT and of the city for being creative in this. And so it's really exciting, so thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lopez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the comments that I have, these improvements that they're looking to make happen within the Highlands University area will not only impact and benefit, the students and faculty, but also the residents. We utilize as residents and constituents, we utilize these roadways and walkways and lighting benefits as well. And Public Works is committed to helping with this whole process. It's a lengthy process, starts off with applications and then it moves on to presentations with these guys and, support from them makes it all happen. But just letting you know that we are or would be willing to be in full support and help, in whatever the process would be. And we're very familiar with it, so it's an easy process for us anymore.
Mr. Mayor, just the last comment on it is that I will work with mayor and councils to keep you updated on the progress of the agreement, the draft agreement. It's going to be straightforward, but I'll make sure I keep the mayor and council in the loop. And then also clear and constant communication with finance department associated with those responsibilities that will come with this partnership. And so I don't have anything else to add, but I wanted to bring, in advance of a MOU, I wanted to bring it as a presentation just to put it on everyone's radar and give some background.
Mr. Manager, real quick, so we're looking probably next month, that MOU should be ready?
Mayor and council, I believe so. President Wolf has already provided a framework draft that I think is a good working document. I'll work in conjunction with our staff and communications with Mr. Lopez and our general counsel to refine it and bring it back for review and approval.
Yeah, thanks. Just in terms of scope, I think it may be helpful as well for context, and sorry, I forgot to mention that. Our access to the TPC? TPF. We're eligible for about $60,000-$70,000 per year through that fund. By leveraging the city, we'd be eligible for $2-3 million over a few years. And so it greatly jumps our ability to leverage that. So I think in terms of scope, sorry I left that out, but that significantly changes the landscape of what's possible. So that's why we're so appreciative, because this is a major, major jump for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilors? Councilman Montoya.
As a veteran of the DOT, every district is limited on funding. The DOT receives so much money statewide. They have 6 districts. And the money is spread out in those 6 districts. Now, Mr. Lopez, I think, has already applied for funding for the Riverwalk lighting the last 2 or 3 years, and we haven't received any. Go ahead, Mr. Lopez. I know I'm wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
So
a
yeah, this
different
is
funding.
TPF, this is Transportation Project Fund. So like the most recent application is actually for Commerce Street. That's our application for this year. El Creston was our previous one, which we did get funded.
And that's where I'm getting at. There's the city of Las Vegas, we've been pumping money. And thank you, New Mexico DOT and your chairman and everybody else, because you guys have helped us back after for the last 4 years on all the streets that we've done. And we've put in minimal, and some of it we haven't put any, but matched any. But, us up here, Mr. President, our priorities are within the city. And I know there's no representation here from Luna, but that's considered in the county. So going back to the limited of funding that's available for District 4, it will cut off our pie. It'll cut 2 slices of our pie. Whether it's improving the city or not, or the surroundings, but we are trying to put in as many projects as possible on the most needed roads. We still have roads that are unpaved for the last 50 years. Commerce is one of them that we're trying to pave now, because then people have been waiting for years. And I thank you for wanting to fix our community and around the university. I mean, a lot of those streets have gotten neglected throughout the years. Some of those streets were DOT roads, and some are more Highlands roads. And but your $60,000-$70,000 a year will help out. I mean, projects on lighting and parking lot areas and stuff like that, all those will deter crime in our community, less police patrol and so forth. But I will assure you that it is cutting a piece of our pie. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's about time that something like this happens. As administrators of these fundings, they will be still responsible for their 5%?
Yes.
Their entities of them? Yeah, okay.
If I may.
Mr. Rivera?
So a little bit of clarification in regards to different funding. As you know, the city of Las Vegas is eligible for co-op funding, MAP funding, capital outlay funding. The university in itself is only available for co-op funding. So that co-op funding, as President spoke with earlier, that dollar amount is very small. The pot of money for co-op funding for both New Mexico Highlands University and Luna Community College, that dollar amount is very low. The reason we say it's not impacted within the city of Las Vegas funding is because Transportation Project Fund has a bigger dollar amount. When you guys give presentations to us in regards to Transportation Project Fund, you guys come with your number 3, your high 3 priorities. You give us presentation on, that's just an example, top 3 priorities, which then a presentation would be made, as an example, number 4 would be Highlands University. We'd still take your number 1 priority and put that as a recommendation along with backup documentation and all the documents we need for the application of the university coming forward. And the school districts are the only ones that aren't allowed to get match waiver, so that's why it's not 100% paid for by DOT.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Council, any? No? So, all right.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything else to add. I will bring it back and keep everybody updated.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, and thank you, President Wolf. Thank you. Thank you, Arnold.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our next item, presentation by State of New Mexico City Staff and Plexos Group speaking on concepts and recommendations for the water treatment plant. Mr. City Manager Anaya.
Mr. Mayor, we have several folks with us today that are part of our partnership associated with the intergovernmental agreement. Mr. Martinez, where did Mr. Martinez go? Come on up, Mr. Martinez. We have Mr. Martinez from our Drinking Water Bureau. We have Mr. Jonas Armstrong from the State Environment Department, Mr. Chad Freeman from Plexos Group, and of course, we have our fearless leader of the Water Department and Wastewater, Mr. Travis Martinez. And so I would just kick off by saying each of them can introduce themselves and speak to the presentation. They have a targeted presentation that they're going to provide to you that I believe has been distributed to all of you. I'm excited about the partnership that we have with the state of New Mexico. I'm excited about the coordination and active, ongoing communication that's occurred, not only with these 4 individuals, but with staff citywide, in addition to our consultants associated with the projects as well. And so we've made a very concerted, focused, intentional effort to make sure we're engaged in part of the process, and I'm happy to report that that's occurred. And so thanks to Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Martinez, and Mr. Freeman, who's taken the lead on a project from Plexos Group, and thanks to Mr. Martinez and our whole collective team at the City of Las Vegas. So with that, I'll defer any other additional comments to later in the presentation, but I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Armstrong, and then we'll go from there.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm Jonas Armstrong. I'm the director of the New Mexico Environment Department's Water Protection Division. That includes our Drinking Water Bureau, where Mr. Martinez is our bureau chief. You all have the handout in front of you. I want to start out with just thanking you all for the invitation to give you an update this evening, for the shared urgency that the city and the state have on getting through this important, necessary public project. I want to thank you all for the collaboration in getting into that IGA and from your staff since then. We've been working with Travis, with the city manager, with Adrian, Jimmy, Lucas. We've got Dominique and Josh that have helped us out. It's been a really quick team building in the last month or so since we got the IGA in place and our contractor on board. So I want to thank you all for the collaboration and the good faith that you and your team have shown in that time. We've made a lot of progress in a short period of time too, and you all made some progress ahead of that also on your own, and there's credit due there as well. I would be, not telling you anything you don't know in terms of the devastation from the 2022 fires. You all know that much better than I do as a resident of Albuquerque. You all have probably heard the results of that fire on the water chemistry that serves your drinking water plant, and that it was not designed to handle that new chemistry caused by elevated turbidity and organics and other elements. That system was built in the 1960s. It was upgraded in the 1990s, and there's an opportunity today to develop a generational asset for you all now and for your children and grandchildren. That's what the state is here to help out with. That's through the intergovernmental agreement that we mentioned. And the arrangement under that intergovernmental agreement is one where the state and through our contractor is the project manager. But the city remains, of course, the owner and operator for the system. So what progress have we made to date? A lot of work had been done. Our team has come in and gathered a lot of information, done some discovery, and received a lot of knowledge transfer from your team locally and other contractors you've engaged with over the last couple of years. We've used that information gathering to move along on a plan and design approach of how we're going to achieve the goals of the IGA, which are a permanent water treatment facility. We've talked about treatment methods that are going to be appropriate. We've talked about the controls that will be necessary. We've talked about the early estimates that have come in from previous work from city contractors. We've taken all this to build a vision for the future, and it's a shared vision with the city and the state. We want to make sure that this new facility is designed to be resilient with the disasters that unfortunately are going to happen and have been happening with increased frequency. We also want to make sure that it's a clean handoff to you all at the city in terms of being the long-term owner operator of the system. My direct supervisor, the deputy secretary at the Environment Department, frequently talks about how communities in New Mexico will have designs on projects done for them, and it's a Cadillac when the community needs a Chevrolet. And we're here to make sure that that's what happens with Las Vegas, that you get what you need and something that you're capable of operating going forward and maintaining, and that will continue to serve the city for decades. To make sure we're doing that, we're looking at improving the water quality, obviously, that comes out of the treatment plant. We're looking at long-term savings from that. And we're also looking at making sure that there's adequate quantity to improve the city's resilience. So moving forward, like I said, we're getting really close on plans and designs for a path. I think in the next month or two, you will probably, hopefully, you all will see us back here with another update with more specifics on what that plan is going to look like, and a new position posting for a construction manager that's gonna be our lead, a new position posting for a construction manager that's gonna be our lead on this. So we're looking at it that way too, right? That this is such a priority for the department and the state, that we're creating a position to manage this project. We, want to work with you all to encourage public participation like this as we go forward. And we want to maintain our transparency with regular updates to you all. I'd leave it at that in terms of questions and answers from you all or comments from my colleagues on the panel. And not just questions, any feedback or suggestions you might have. So appreciate your time.
Mr. Mayor, I think I would like to hear some feedback, because there's been a lot of interfacing work. We could go to you, if we could, Mr. Freeman, to speak to that, if you would.
Yeah, I would like to say that I've never seen a collaboration like this and done as well as it's been done. If it weren't for the city and the other team members, we wouldn't be where we are today. Everyone needs to keep in mind, we've done a lot of work over 3 weeks. It would take most organizations 6 months to a year to achieve what we've done. So, back to you.
Thank you, Chad. And I would just say, a lot of that goes to the local knowledge that was here, the work that was done, and then the expertise of the Plexos Group, which is a national contracting firm that has expertise in disaster recovery, construction, major infrastructure projects across the board. So having those resources to bring everybody together and work through a large volume of material and get everybody on the same page has been really impressive. So,
If we could, Mr. Armstrong, if Mr. Martinez, if he could comment, we've had a lot of interface with Mr. Martinez and his work in the Bureau, and if you could just comment on I've been here, and I know Mr. Martinez and the mayor and council over many years always comment relative to compliance associated with Drinking Water Bureau and quality and quantity and the expertise and interface that we have between the city and the Environment Department in your shop is crucial and instrumental now with the existing plant, but as much so moving forward with the new plant as well. So if you could, Mr. Martinez, speak to some of that interface and work that is ongoing and constant as it relates to your connection to the city of Las Vegas.
Sure. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having us tonight. Joe Martinez, I'm the Bureau Chief of the NMED Drinking Water Bureau, and like City Manager Anaya said, we've done a lot of work with the city over the past several years, especially after the fires. There was a lot of collaboration and assistance that we provided to your operators immediately after the fires, and with the flooding that happened, even after that. There have been some hiccups, like you all know. There's been some violations, some boil water advisories, and other things that we've worked together to get through. And so I appreciate the collaboration with the city and trying to get through some of those emergencies. We are looking very forward to getting this project completed, because I think it's going to be a benefit to the community and to ensure long-term compliance. And like Director Armstrong said, it's going to be a generational asset for the city. And so we're really looking forward to getting to the point of completing this project.
Mr. Mayor, thank you, Mr. Martinez. I would just articulate, full transparency and accountability that those hiccups you noted are things that will occur associated with as we evolve through this process together, but that it's good to have you at the table as you always have been, but also in connection to the intergovernmental agreement at a greater level. And so we look forward to that interface. I think, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, before we go to questions Mayor Council might have, I wanted to give Mr. Martinez our fearless leader from the Water Department and Wastewater to provide some feedback relative to the process thus far and what's ahead of us. Mr. Martinez?
Mayor, council, dealing with this process and moving forward, it's kind of a whole different ballgame in learning the process moving forward and working with these gentlemen and learning how they do their process. And I think it's a benefit for all of us, especially for me and my staff moving forward. And project management 101, like these guys said earlier, is all of the data gathering. Once it's all consolidated, we'll move forward to the next process. The good thing about all of this is the transparency between the state, the city, and Plexus. And I just want to thank them, and it's going to be a learning process as it is right now. And as Mr. Anaya knows, and you guys know, the city of Las Vegas is doing everything we can to accommodate our partners and moving this process forward.
Mr. Mayor, I defer Mayor or council for any questions you might have.
I'll go ahead and start off real quick. First of all, thank you, gentlemen, for coming in, and I know we have Miss Deborah Salzer back there, behind the scenes. First off, I just want to, thank you guys for the work that you've done. I think in the couple meetings that I've been able to participate, it's been, music to my ears, being that I know, we talk about transparency, right? And as I mentioned, to a couple of you guys here, is that I don't think that we did a good enough job of letting our community know exactly what we were doing behind the scenes during this time until those events happened, right? But, music to my ears when I say that is hearing you guys, give credit to the staff and everything that they have done, especially you, Mr. Friedman, you guys coming in again, outside agency coming in to evaluate everything we've done, in order to survive and get through some of the things that we have, and the process that we've, the process and the momentum that we have come to. We didn't do enough of a good job, and even, also having the transparency with you guys, right? And I know we made an effort, but probably not an effort that we should have on a more consistent basis with you guys individually. I know in the past, recommendations have been made, weren't followed through, and then it was like, well, what are they doing? What are they not doing? So we've really, and now with Mr. Robert Anaya, he's really made an effort that, hey, everybody's gonna, work together, and we're gonna get things moving forward. So this intergovernmental agreement, when, was first discussed, we never looked at it as something that was going to, be a bully from the state or anything, but more of a partnership. And I think that's really, there was even within the community, like a fear. Okay, well, what's going to happen now that the state comes in? And basically, no, we didn't take no steps back. We're continuing the momentum that was already happening, and things are moving along real quick. That's where I think in the intergovernmental agreement, as we came, in discussion with it, is that it's only a benefit that the state's, more at the table. And one thing that I do want to acknowledge is that the city of Las Vegas, represented the city manager and Mr. Martinez and, our consultants, that we're all at the table, and it's not just, basically a directive coming, from the state. We're all, the discussion and the dialogue is a partnership. And that's really what we made an effort in working that intergovernmental agreement, that, hey, we all have one goal in mind, and that's to ensure that we bring a quality of water, that's, better than what, I wouldn't say better, a quality of water that's going to be there for us moving forward and be resilient through any possible storms or anything that we move forward because of the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. So, like I said, it was music to my ears to know that, hey, you know what, we weren't doing a bad job. We were, we were headed in the right direction, and you guys just helped us speed things through. And I'm really excited to hear in the next couple months we'll really know, what the next steps are, and as far as getting ready for construction, I mean, I know design, but construction and what that timeline is. And we're all here to work together and make sure that we're prepared for the future. So, Mr. City Manager, and after, I'll let you speak. I saw you there wanting to say some things, and I'll move over to council.
Yeah, Mayor and council, appreciate noting the Salsa Group and Deborah and her team. Herself and her team members, very much including Dr. Howe, have been very integral to the discovery and the information and the work advancing forward and including staff. So if you could just note that verbally, Mr. Freeman, I'd appreciate it because it's been truly comprehensive and goes beyond even the folks we've noted throughout the whole city. But if you could comment to that, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd like to note on that. Dr. Howe, Deborah, and her group has worked very closely with us throughout this process. And again, they helped accelerate us get to the point we are. All the surveys and all the information that Dr. Howe pulled together, again, working with our engineers, expedited the whole process, so.
Councilor Casey?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have any questions. I am just going to excuse myself from the rest of the meeting because I have a migraine and I feel really awful, and I don't want to get sick in front of everybody. And I'm not able to focus as well with the migraine that I have. So if I may be excused, I would appreciate that very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Chief, you know, thank you, Mr. City Manager, for bringing this before us. You know, this is all about transparency and, you know, to our community. They're the ones that need to see these faces, not the ones that are on the screen, but your faces. Because you guys are the ones that are really, really out on the boots on the ground. You guys are the ones. I've attended some meetings with our city manager, with you guys, and what's going on up there and so forth. And, you know, being able to work with the state at the level that we're working with you guys is awesome. The 15 months, I don't know. I don't like that at all. But you know what? Those are things that we'll have to just deal with at the time. I can't see it not continuing, but we'll see what happens during that time. A lot of changes will probably be made in 15 months. A lot of changes are happening maybe in the next 3 months over here. I mean, you might be looking at different faces next time you come before us. I don't know. But I'll tell you that the teamwork and everything that's been going on, like you said earlier, has been done in the last 2 months or so, versus accomplishing this in a year and a half that it normally takes. And I wish you would have said it louder. I know you said it twice, but I wish you would have said it louder so Santa Fe could have heard it. You know, our staff and this city of Las Vegas had been doing things to move the city forward in our water department. And like the mayor said, I mean, we don't pat ourselves in the back, but we've done stuff and given direction to move this city forward. It wasn't an easy task. We were here. We know what happened. And we don't want it happening again. So this time, we're going to build it right, and we're going to get it done right. And the governor said a year and a half. You know, I hope it's in a short time. I'm going to leave it at that. I will have a lot of questions down the road when you guys have more of a detail as to the time frame, the money, how much it's going to cost, the size, the employees, and all that stuff. And that's down the road. We're still early on the state, you know, in the planning and design, and we got the right teams and the right players, the right consultants, and I think we're all going in the right direction. And I thank you for working with the city of Las Vegas. I really do, and our city manager. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to see people that are motivated, that are willing to help, and are willing to move in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Councilors.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Martinez.
I do want to say thanks as well. I mean, I met Joe out there in Santa Fe, and some of those meetings weren't, they were unexpected meetings, I guess. And then, of course, the city has had issues for several years in the past. But along those lines, just like you mentioned earlier, the cascading events from the fire is what changed everything. And now we're having to reinvent the wheel as the direction of that plant. We can't just go and set up a plant and walk away from it. Now we're having to think about a plant that's going to be able to support our community for the next 10, 20 years. And what it might be bringing down from the watershed and so forth. So I appreciate the partnership. I appreciate, of course, Deb out there in the back that's helped support our community to be able to get the funding that we have today to be able to make this project happen. So I'm not going to forget the partners that we have, and I appreciate you guys being partners, with Travis and his team, and of course our city manager and so forth. But it's a long process, but it's good to see you guys here, rather than we have to pick up the phone and we got bad news or good news or any kind of news. We want to know that we can do the things that we need to get done right and take care of our community moving forward. It's such a big. This is big for us. You were here earlier when you heard about a comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plans don't work unless you have something to back it up, and water is the number one thing, okay? So I'm gonna be honest with you, we can't move the city forward unless we have that secured. And I appreciate all the partners in there. And again, I'm just looking forward to making sure that the partnership with all of you guys is open, and our city manager is there willing to take good with bad and make sure that we have a good finished product. I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
And I'll end my comments, just, one last thing is, I know that we've all been aggressive. I mean, ever since, I took this position, and, even, after the fires, our first floods, we've all been really aggressive as a timeline on speeding this thing up. But I think one thing that I could say that we all agree, all of us that have been involved, and now, Plexus is involved more. I know Mr. Armstrong and Mr. Martinez, and both of Martinez's, we know that the struggles that we've had, but one thing that we do want to make sure is that we're not gonna, even though there's been, a timeline given of this getting done, we want to make sure that whatever we do get done, and even if it goes over that timeline, we want to make sure we get this thing right. And I think that's the one thing that we all agree on, that timeline isn't met. We're not going to just push things to make sure we meet a deadline, because we want to make sure, as we've all said, that this is we're going to be able to sustain ourselves for the next 20 and 30 years. So, like I said, that that timeline was given, but we're not going to force ourselves to meet that deadline just to meet a deadline. So I hope that says, in all fairness, of what we've been thinking and yes, we have that deadline in our mind, but we're going to make sure we get this done right.
And Mr. Mayor and councilors, I don't mean to confuse my timeline in this position with the timeline for this project.
Yeah.
All I mean is that I'm an appointed staff person
Yeah.
who reports to the governor, and there's no guarantee that I will be here beyond the next 15 months. But totally understand it, that, yeah, we want to do this project right, and if it takes a little longer than that, that's how it is.
Thank you. Mr. Manager?
Mayor, I don't have anything else to add.
Okay. Again, thank you guys for all that you've done. Travis, thank your employees, and Miss Deborah, thank you and all that you've done. Like I said, we're all on the same page. We're one team, and we're going to get this done. And you know, thanks to the governor and this intergovernmental agreement, we have the backing of every department that was in that intergovernmental agreement. And hey, we're just going to move this community forward. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our next item, item number 4, presentation, discussion, and possible action regarding water distribution and storage. Mr. City Manager Anaya.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ribolid from Molson Corbin, Jonah, and Mr. Travis Martinez. Just a preface, we've had some preliminary discussions. I've had discussions with mayor and council related to other necessary realities associated with the water challenges and the effects of the fire that have cascaded, I think is the right term, but I think cascaded is maybe a more passive term than the active pain that's existed associated with the city of Las Vegas and the residents. And so that in that interest, we did some requests of our engineering firm on contract, Molson Corbin. And so I'd like to first have Mr. Martinez provide some background for the public as to how we brought Molson Corbin to this point, and then speak directly to a storage tank project that we intend to advance with the support and direction of the city council. And so, Mr. Martinez, if you could first provide some preliminary comments relative to how we got to this point, and then we can turn it over to Jonah to elaborate and give us more background on the project in front of us that we're working to advance for water storage throughout the city of Las Vegas.
Mayor, council, a little bit of background. As we just spoke previously with the other entities that are helping out, the cascading events did change the nature of our water supply here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Changed the whole perspective of our water storage and our raw water storage and so on and so forth. And coming to a bunch of recommendations moving forward on extra water storage, finished water, potable water storage. We looked into different things for this thing, and Molson Corbin has done a lot of work for the city of Las Vegas for the past
decades. Mayor and council, we've been fortunate to be present here in the city, working on a number of infrastructure projects since the 60s. And so we're grateful to continue that relationship.
So with that relationship that the city has had with Molson Corbin, it was only the logical thing to do to move forward because they have the history, they have the knowledge, they have the credentials. And also, not just that, but they've also done water modeling, pressure zones, everything. So they made the perfect candidate to move this project forward. And Mr. Anaya giving us the go-ahead to do it. Jonah here has a presentation moving forward to explain a little bit more about the storage and capacities.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jonah Rubalid. I'm a civil engineer with Molson Corbin. Like I said, we're fortunate that we've been able to work in the city for a long time. I personally have been working with city staff for about 9 years now, and so I'm lucky to continue working with you guys. As Travis mentioned, we were asked to look and evaluate different alternatives for storage tanks for the city. Right now, the city has 3 water storage tanks for their treated water that the city utilizes for their operational storage, emergency storage, and fire storage. That storage amounts to approximately 8 million gallons, I think 8.1 million gallons, which if those tanks are full, and the city were to stop producing water from the water treatment plant, the city could use that water over about 5-6 days. So the city reached out to us to look at alternatives to increase that time and increase that storage. We've studied the water system over the years. We prepared a preliminary engineering report in 2011, a water master plan in 2017, looking at different infrastructure projects to help with the city's system. We prepared a technical memo, which I believe was just distributed to you guys, that evaluates the potential for 3 new storage tanks. These 3 tanks would be in the 3 different pressure zones for the city, matching the current pressures, the current elevations of the existing tanks to maintain existing pressures within the city. I have a figure that I would like to show, and it is very hard to see. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Okay. So that's a little bit better. So the first tank alternative that we looked at is over at the airport. So that's what these dark lines and this circle over here is showing. It's showing a water line out to the airport, and then another water line coming back into the system to help loop that system, provide for that water to have that continuous flow so it doesn't become stagnant. This tank would be beneficial to the city as it would provide additional storage for the city, but then it also provides for the option to provide potable water to the airport and to provide fire protection at the airport, which currently doesn't exist. Another tank that we looked at was based off of a study that we did where we provided alternatives for different water line loops within the city to help maintain pressure, maintain flows. And so this was originally called East Loop C. We are showing a tank as connected to this water line off of a road called Ariba Road on the east side of town. And the third tank that we were looking at was one right next to the existing 2.5 million gallon tank at Luna. So just to the south, we would provide another tank, 2 million gallons, to provide additional storage within Zone 2. So that's the project in a nutshell. What we've provided is good alternatives for the city to look at for tanks. And so we're looking to you, Mayor and Council, to provide direction on if you would like for us to proceed with this.
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, councilors, it's specifically that, to get more feedback associated with the project and recommendation to continue moving forward relative to tasking. And Mr. Martinez, what does that look like if we get direction from Mayor and Council to proceed?
If we get the permission to proceed, Jonah has already drafted up task orders. This will fall under their technical services for water distribution. Their task order will be sent to us. It'll be applied, and Jonah will send us a schedule. Discussion a little bit, plan and design. We're looking January, February, March, April of next year to have all 3 projects finalized. But then again, like I said, that'll fall on Moles and Corbin for their schedule, because there is other steps that they're gonna have to take as far as easements and stuff like that. We've also tasked Moles and Corbin to help out with funding if possible, and just in case. And leading back to the picture, if we can go back to it. So they're in Zone 2. We were talking actually earlier about it, and I believe that tank is gonna fall in Ward 3. We believe that that's within city limits. As far as the tanks go, we've kind of had a little bit of discussion about where the tank location should be. We've asked, you know, can we have it in the middle of town? Can we have it somewhere? But based on modeling that Moles and Corbin has already done, and like you said earlier, dealing with pressure zones and everything, these are the recommended sites for these tanks.
Mr. City Manager, if I can, again, thank you. I know, you know, you came in and you're pushing things through. Again, some of this was already preliminarily discussed. You know, as Mr. Manager knows, you know, we wanted to move forward and get projects done. So Travis, one thing, you know, I know this first would be a task order for plan and design. At that point, then you'll make sure that, you know, pressures throughout the community, permitting, you know, from the state or whatever, or has that already been taken place, the discussion?
So what's gonna happen based on this task order, it's gonna be plan, design, construct. And with those, Moles and Corbin has done it in the past before where they will take care of permitting. They will take care of the interactions between the state and the city. Is that correct, Jonah?
Yes, that's correct.
If you wanna elaborate a little bit more on that, on your construction and permitting.
Yes, of course. So Mayor and councilors, once we would begin the project, we would start with the surveying, which would include the topographic survey for the water lines, the tanks. We would do the geotechnical reports for the different sites, determine the foundations. And then we would start coordinating the easements with property owners where necessary. In addition to that, we would start the permitting process. This would depend on the funding situation, where that funding is coming from. But as far as permitting that we are 100% aware of right now, for the airport, we would need to go under the railroad. And so that's something that we would need to coordinate with BNSF, likely do a jack and bore casing under there, and then go from there.
And every step along the way, we're also gonna be in partnership with NMED, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Manager? Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, I would just note that we had some discussions today with the State Environment Department, with Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Martinez wasn't in that particular conversation, but as stated, we'll follow the normal procedural process with State of New Mexico, as would any city entity or any entity for that matter that works through the process of permitting approvals, design approvals. All that interface will be consistent. I would say respectfully, it doesn't hurt at all. I would say that we have now on top of the normal process, the intergovernmental agreement that is along with that. And so we had some preliminary discussions earlier about working closely with the Environment Department, in addition to the normal process, above and beyond that, coordinating our efforts together as we advance the project through design and construction.
Mr. Martinez and Mr. City Manager, if you don't mind, so, you know, a couple of reasonings behind this. Of course, you know, I know in the past we've had our issues with, you know, dead-end areas. So this will address one of those issues, which those dead ends sometimes, you know, we have some compliance issues. So that's one of the things. And I think the biggest part in this, pushing this project a little more aggressively, I guess we could say, Mr. City Manager, is that specifically, you know, what we've endured in the past, right? So this gives us, if one of those worst-case scenario storms hits us, gives us an additional, I mean, even though we've already taken a lot of measures, you know, pre-treatment systems, upgrades to the current system, but this is another emergency, basically, protocol we're taking to ensure that we do, we're planning for the worst-case scenarios. So this will give us additional storage of treated water, you know, to help us get through some of these issues, or if there's issues, you know, within, you know, some of the current tanks or whatever, it gives us that opportunity. Am I correct in saying that, Mr. Manager? And Travis?
Mayor, Counselor, if I could, and then Mr. Martinez can elaborate, it absolutely will do that. It will double our available capacity from what we have now in actual days of delivery. Estimated, we're at 5 to 6, it'll take us to 12. Is that correct, Mr. Rubal?
Yes, that is correct.
And then additionally, it puts us in a place where, because of those older tanks, we have tanks from the 1950s and the 1970s in our system that we know we're going to need to do refurbishing to. So these additional tanks give us the mechanism to be able to take tanks offline to do necessary refurbishing. Could you add some more on that? Either of you or both, if that's okay?
Of course. So the city manager is correct. To take a tank offline, to rehab a tank, it would be necessary to take that tank offline, which creates many operational difficulties for the city. And that's something that we've dealt with at Cabin Site Tank, which was extremely difficult. The city actually had to construct a 30,000-gallon tank right next to it in order to take it offline. And then we had to do it during winter months when the demands were low within the city, which required heating the tank, and it was a bit of a nightmare for the city. So these construction of these new tanks would allow for rehab of Luna and Valencia. Cabin Site was rehabbed fairly recently in 2019, I believe. And I believe Cabin Site is actually the newest tank constructed originally in 1975, while Luna was 73 and Valencia was before that. I'm not sure when.
52, I believe, was what I read. In the 50s, for sure.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
And I think to add to that, Mr. Manager, I think it also gives us, and I know when we went through our emergencies that we've gone through, put us at risk, fire risk also, which, the fire department had to do additional precautionary measures to ensure, Chief, if you don't mind adding to that, having this would help us with those type of situations?
Yes, sir. I've asked for years for us to have a tank up at the airport because our nearest hydrant is at the county yards. It's under 500 gallons a minute rated at the hydrant. Thanks to the city manager, we're finally trying to get those tanks installed. It would increase the pressure, and we've seen in my previous city, when they do a loop system like this, it increases the whole town. It increases our fire rating and protection. So I would highly recommend this be done.
Councilors, I know I've asked a lot of questions, but Councilman Olivari?
Mr. Mayor, Manager, thank you, Mr. Manager. It looks like a real tough project. We need, people here in residents are always talk about water. We've been talking about water for the past 70 years, and this project here is really something that we're gonna fall through, and it looks really super good, and people are gonna look at that. I wanna thank you guys for all the hard work that you guys do. Thank you.
Councilman Martinez. And
Mr.
I want to add that Councilman Martinez has been pushing for this loop system, so.
Mr. Mayor, yeah, thank you. I know that when, our city manager came in and even our previous city manager, a loop system is such an important thing to have because it keeps stagnant water from being present and us and our community not being in compliance with that water. So this is a big step in the right direction. It's probably even going to help our insurance, but a couple of questions I had. So the capacity that we have today was about 8.1 million. How much more would we have if we did this loop system?
Counselor, we're planning on 6 million gallons more with
6
with
million
these projects.
additional gallons.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And are we at any point, are we in a position where we need to rehab some of our storage tanks right now? Do you know?
They're coming up.
They're coming up, so
Yeah,
that's,
that'll be the Valencia and then it'll be Luna. I think that's the rotation that they're in.
okay. I want to make sure that the public understand that the additional water storage is such an important piece to be able to keep what we already have. You know, it's just such a good thing. I would only like to add, okay, and I'm gonna throw this out there, and it has nothing to do with water, but it has something to do with gas. If there's a way to incorporate a gas line to cross those tracks, at least that part done with the infrastructure that you would be able to, do for us, for the city. And the reason why I'm saying that is because getting those permits to cross, the tracks, the railroad tracks and all that, even if we didn't get that done, that would be a big piece for the community to be able to support something moving forward. I'm just saying that because you're already gonna get permits if we agree to this, of course. And I'm in favor of loop systems because I think it's such a big and important part of any community. And, it fills that void on that side of town that we need to have taken care of. So I'm just gonna throw that in. But just making sure that we have that potable water for an additional, up to 12 days, it's an important and big step for our community. It's a no-brainer for me, okay? I'm in support of, definitely, of increasing our water storage. We cannot go back and fall back on the idea that we ran out of water and we're having to supply our community with bottled water or transported water. We were in the news for such a long time, we were there for everything. And yeah, of course, we had wonderful resources, Salsa Group was a big resource that we had to be able to fill that void. But we have to take care of ourselves. We can't we can't wait forever to fix the problems that we have, and this is a good opportunity to do that. So I am totally in support of this, and I would like to see this move forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Clay.
Yeah. First of all, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask that, on our packets, this item is under business items. And this packet should have been with us with the packet, this information. So that we would have enough time to read it beforehand. When we have presentations on the agenda, those are just presentations. But when we have business items and with an action on them, we need to have this information in our packet so we can read it beforehand, Mr. Mayor. I'm reading through this, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7-page document, as everyone else is speaking on it. Some of this is new information to me. I do have some concerns. This is something that, you got $15 million project here?
Yes, Counselor.
That we get the information right before the meeting or during the meeting to read and to make a decision on is unlikely for me to make a decision on. Okay, but the capacity that we have on storage now is 8 million gallons, and this plan, according to this, it's 2 million for 2 million gallons in one tank, 500,000 on one and 500,000 on the other. So that's 3 million gallons more. Is that correct?
Counselor, the plan is for 2 million gallons apiece, and so maybe there's a typo there.
Okay. So anyway, I've been in support of getting new tanks built since way before this ever happened, because of the $8 million capacity that we had and we couldn't grow. But my understanding and my recollection and everything that I had studied before was a tank at Valencia and one at the airport and one over an 8th Street extension. Now, we're in a moratorium. I don't know if you know about it or not, but we're in a moratorium because of the lack of water and because of where we're at in our system right now. But we have people online waiting we have at least 2,400 customers waiting for service. At 8th Street Extension, over at Story Lake, and in-house. And our plan is for in-house first. That's the city plan. Like Councilman Martinez said earlier, we just went over the master plan and comprehensive plan, and without water, there's none of this. There's no growth. And we're getting to that. We're dealing with that. But to me, according to the maps that I've seen, Ward 3 goes up to the interstate or west of the interstate, except over at the transfer station. It goes across the interstate on State Road 250. And on the airport, that is city property. But the Zone 3 that you're talking about, to spend $5 million, it's on the county. If I'm correct, Mr. Martinez?
So right now, we won't know that until they do the surveys for where the tank is gonna be. And that's why I kind of mentioned earlier, based on pressure zones and the elevations, that's the perfect site for the tank. Now, just because we put the tank doesn't mean it's gonna go to the county. It's part of the distribution system. And that right there, that section, what do you call that section there? I can't see it on.
Ariba Road?
No, this one right here. What do you guys? East Loop. So the East Loop project, that is the perfect project to loop the whole system together. And that's why we decide, well, that's why Mosen Corbin is recommending to put a tank there for storage. It's just part of the distribution system. And the East Loop, and Jonah can explain a little bit more, because they've done these studies before, and that'll tie the whole city together.
Point of order, sorry about that. I got a text message that we're not online. Is that? Are we? Okay, I'm just making sure.
So, can you put that slide back on there? Because I don't know what you're talking about, because I don't have a slide, and I don't have
I'm
a
sorry.
map. You know, I don't have a map to know where you're at. See, and this is what happens when you get information at the last minute.
So,
I mean, we don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. City Manager, do you want to address that?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the map that in front of each of the members of the mayor and council is respectfully the same map that I sat down and showed each of the mayor and council in my office. I say that with respect, but candidly and transparently. Each member of the governing board has seen this map.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. I did see that map in your office. My thing is that I don't have a map of it here. And where were you talking about on that map?
Right there where it says East Loop, right next to the tank, that whole section right there will tie the whole system in.
Yeah, but why would you want to run a line through up there and where you have to get easements and right-of-ways and then no one's building there? Are we building a Rio Rancho?
Mr. Mayor?
Or what's the point of looping it through there?
Mr. City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Montoya, and the full council and the public even listening in, this particular project and task order that's been put forth in front of you and discussed not only today but previously was set forth not for the provision and practice of growth for the city of Las Vegas. Doug, who was with Mr. Rubald in the first discussion that we had, a source associated with prior scoping and prior history and prior design, can attest, and I'd actually like you to say it on the record for the mayor and council and the public. I asked that specific question many times, and the question was, this particular recommendation on placement of tanks and additional storage ties directly to the existing system and the need to have an existing loop system that has the appropriate and adequate storage associated for the city of Las Vegas. It's not set forth in any way, shape, or form from the discussions in the onset associated with a growth equation or additional development. Without a question, if the city mayor council, the mayor and council decide on additional water resources and water opportunities that might exist to augment the current water system, whether it be surface water or groundwater, that's certainly something that the city can do, and I think as part of the master plan and the planning process can discuss. And I'd like you to speak to this, sir. This was not brought forth as a way to create growth. This was brought forth fundamentally to deal with the issues associated with the fire, the flooding, and the challenges associated with sustaining good, adequate storage and looping the system for the current and existing residents of the city of Las Vegas. What was noted earlier, I would state again, and that is that the placement of the tank is for highest and best use associated with the comprehensive system. The point relative to growth area or county is not connected to this decision whatsoever. And so if you could comment on that piece, specifically what we talked about and specifically what I asked in those discussions, I would greatly appreciate if you'd speak that into the record.
Yes, sir. So Mayor, Council, the city manager mentioned my colleague Doug Albin. He's worked with the city for decades, and he originally scoped this East Loop Segment C water line in the 2011 Water PER and then the 2017 Water Master Plan. This line is, it helps provide for fire flows at the dead ends in those different areas on the east side of town. In the event of a fire, there's additional flow at those different hydrants in those areas of town. The tanks, those sites have been sited based off of elevations of existing tanks. So we wanted to match those different hydraulic grade lines and those different elevations so that way we could maintain existing pressures and not be creating additional pressure zones within the city.
Thank you. You know, I think where my concerns are is that, you know, we have, I don't know, let me ask, where's the $15 million going to come from?
Mr. City Manager?
Mr. Mayor, I think we have several alternatives associated with the use of existing revenue that we received from the federal government potentially, and we're already in discussions as to that potential use. Your 98 million, potentially your 40 million, to be very specific and linear. We've also exercised looking at the Finance Authority, funds associated with the state of New Mexico. So I believe there's various alternatives to be able to fill that bucket and assure that we can construct these projects. Those are also items that will specifically come back relative to specific direction from the mayor and the city council as those advance forward within this project.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. City Manager, because, you know, it's nice to know when we bring projects about how we're going to pay for them. None of that information was in here. But I think the other concern that I have is, Mr. Mayor, you've been with us for the last 3-4 years, and you know that we've been on this moratorium. And what I don't want to happen, I mean, I understand more of the plan now, but, you know, we've had people waiting. We've had developers waiting on water hookups, you know, and I'm not talking about 1 or 2. I'm talking about quite a few homes that they want to develop on the outskirts of town. So I'm not quite sure, I'm not quite sure at all how this is gonna help them out or help us move them forward or how to get away from that. But, I don't wanna, how do we justify $15 million versus, and I understand the need for the storage and all that. I'm for the storage and all that. But how do we justify that to the ones that are still not getting their water, and we're extending our lines outside our boundaries? I don't quite get that part. I think if this plan would have been A and B, 1 and 2, Camp Luna and up there in the tanks, ¿cómo le llaman? El Cristón. And at the airport, I would have been gung-ho with it. But this other loop threw me for a loop.
If I may speak to that, Counselor, that loop will benefit the distribution system. It'll definitely help with distribution. As far as utilities goes, I've said it before, we're both in the ET zone and we're also within the city. And our distribution system is linked all together, regardless of the boundaries. So when it comes to looping a system like this and getting it looped, it's only beneficial for the distribution system. Now, moratorium and moving forward and stuff, I see where you're getting at, and that'll have to be looked upon in the future as well when we get the new water treatment plant and stuff like that. But this right here will benefit the distribution system and will help with storage.
So, Mr. City Attorney, do you see anything that would legally put us in a bad situation with our moratorium and spending this kind of money and not helping those that are already in line?
And I don't,
As a legal.
and I'll let you get that question, but I do want to remember that this governing body did open up a smart growth allowance of water taps in the ETZ zone, which is 15. And Mr. Martinez, if you could answer this question, how many have applied so far?
So we did the partial lift of the moratorium,
Yeah,
and right
and-
now we have, I believe, 11.
So we haven't even hit the 15. We don't have the hundreds of people waiting?
No, sir.
Okay.
We've had people that have come in and they've asked to get the water taps, but they want to sell the property. That wasn't the point of the partial lift. The partial lift was to help the people that were in need of getting water. So we have 11 people right now that are on the list.
So that, that opens up that part. So, and I can't recall, we have two legals. I don't know if you worked on that partial moratorium or was it?
No, I'm not familiar with
Okay,
the
so-
partial moratorium, but just generally the question.
lift.
If this project would impact the moratorium, I would probably have to venture to say no, unless we're violating the moratorium specifically, right? Issuing taps that aren't permitted, certain violations of the moratorium specifically, I think would then violate it. If we're creating a distribution system just generally, not specific to what the moratorium prohibits, right, for upgrading the system and we're allowing for greater flow and some of the things that y'all had mentioned, I don't think would be a direct violation of that moratorium. If that answers your question, I think maybe that's what you asked.
Thank you. So, Mr. Mayor, if I may, Mr. Martinez, so you're saying that this is, specifically for that purpose?
Specifically for storage and distribution. That's
That's
it. The only one that's gonna get a water tap probably is the airport. Other than that, it's all storage and distribution.
Okay, so what happens to, if we have industry or economic development in the airport? They can't get water off that line because it's strictly for distribution for that?
And I want to jump in here, Counselor, respectfully, is that, again, the intent, and Mr. Manager, if I'm wrong in this, the intent was to address the impacts from the fire. Number one was the looping because of the dead ends that we're currently being in violation of. It has nothing, I mean, the intent of this proposal here tonight was not for growth, not for any of that. It was number one, to loop the system, and number two, to ensure that in case of another catastrophic storm, it gives us an ability to be, to have a storage supply so we wouldn't have to, those are the two, I mean, I want to make sure that this is clear. It has nothing to do with growth. It's for those two items. Am I correct, Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, that's correct.
And the reason that the airport was chosen for a water storage tank was because of the elevation with cabin site. Am I correct, Jonah?
Yes, that is correct.
So, put, the perfect place to have the elevation with cabin site was the perfect place for the airport. And I know that the city has been wanting to run a water line to the airport, so this is a perfect opportunity to run the water line, put the storage tank, and move on.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Mayor. I understood that that was what it was for, the line. So you're saying that it is restricted from commercial or residential hookups in that line?
The moratorium stands. All it's doing is distribution. And it's for the system and for extra capacity for storage. That's all it's for.
Okay.
Maybe I can help clear this up, Travis, too, because if the moratorium were lifted, then that line could be used. But as of right now, it's being designed for distribution and storage.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, and I'll let Jonah answer this one, but if the moratorium was lifted and there was development out there, they could tap into the line. Correct, Jonah?
And I don't even, I mean, as mayor, I'm able to set the direction of this meeting. I want to make sure that I don't even want to have that discussion because we're trying to address the two items specifically that clearly address the impacts of the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. So, I'm city manager, you're the city manager, he's your staff, but I would like that discussion to just be at that.
Mr. Mayor, when you're spending $15 million on a new line, we ought to be able to know and ask what it's for. I think the citizens deserve the truth about what we're doing and what the line's for. That's all. There's nothing intentional for anybody or anything. It's just when we handed out a paper at the before the meeting and we have questions, well, we ought to ask the questions and they have been answered. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think that's, there's a lot of clarification that happened. And I thank you for that.
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Martinez.
This is an item that makes real sense. It makes real sense to our community, or to our people, for storage, for that loop system that we really need to have, for any violations that we might have in compliance. It makes a lot of sense. You can put everything together and call it growth and do all of the stuff, but that's not what this document is sitting in front of us for. This is an asset to our community. We need to make sure that we continue to look forward. If we decide to say, we're gonna get a brand new treatment plant, but we're gonna stay the same way, did we really improve anything? You guys tell me if we improved anything. No, we did not. If we're gonna get a brand new treatment plant that produces tons of water and we can't even store it, what are we doing? I'm gonna do this, Mayor, because it says presentation, discussion, and possible action. I'm gonna go ahead and say, Mayor, I move on action regarding water distribution and storage. And that's a motion that I
A
made.
motion by Councilman Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Ulibarri. Roll call.
What's the motion? It's action, what action?
The action to pursue
Action
the
on
direction to.
what's written there on that item.
Roll call.
You gotta specify for storage or something.
It says water distribution and storage.
Okay, well then.
That's what I read. That's.
To move forward.
Yes.
With
Roll call.
Counselor Martinez,
Yes.
Counselor Olivari,
Yes.
Counselor Montoya,
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Olivares. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Our next item, item number 5, request approval of a memorandum of understanding between the City of Las Vegas and the New Mexico Racquetball Association. We have our Community Development Director, Mr. Lucas Marquez.
Mr. Lopez, if you could come forward as well.
Come, Mr. Marquez and Mr. Lopez.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. So I come before you today with the memorandum between the City of Las Vegas and the New Mexico Racquetball Association. They will be hosting their international competition and tournament at the Abe Montoya Recreation Center. I believe it's at the end of the month. Am I correct, Carlos?
Yes,
Yeah, it'll be at the end of the month. Let me get you the dates.
next weekend.
Yes.
Next week.
That'll be a 5-day event. And, you know, we put our MOU together. There is a fee that they have covered. So we just want to see if we could enter into MOU. They will be using our facilities, our racquetball courts, our restrooms, all the facilities that we have over there. They'll be entitled to with this MOU. And we'll stand for questions, me and Carlos.
Council, you guys had an opportunity to review the MOU?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I guess I would like to just make sure and ask, Mr. Marquez and of course City Manager, are we good and ready for this event?
I'll defer to, I believe so,
Okay.
Mayor, Councilman Martinez, Mr. Marquez.
Mayor, Council, yes, we are working forward on moving everything that they wanted put together. The floors are clean, the walls are painted, we got some banners up. Mr. Lopez is still gonna go ahead and go out there and do another inspection. Whatever he's needing done, we're gonna take care of it for him. We're working very cooperatively with them, and they've done very well, so it looks like it's gonna be a great event. They've done some great advertising. They did come through our Lodgers Tax Board. They obtained some fundage for advertising through us, some marketing. They got some really great booklets or pamphlets that you could call them out there. This event looks like it's gonna be really, really progressive and great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Marquez, this is a second or third year?
I believe this is the second year, am I correct, Carlos?
It's the second year, yes.
Second year.
Yeah.
Second year, uh-huh.
Yeah. And we didn't have no issues last year, no?
Last year, we had a great event. The only thing was that we didn't have an MOU. So this year, we did put together an MOU so we could make sure that we're taking care of not only the Racquetball Association, but of course, the City of Las Vegas and the Recreation Center.
And these are people coming nationwide or
International.
international?
If I could, yeah, let me
Mr.
just
Lopez, I was
take a
gonna ask
couple
you
of
that
minutes if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Thank you for the time here today. Thank you, City Manager and Lucas. Yeah, and I also have to recognize Gary Mazroff. He's the New Mexico president of the Racquetball Association, and he really loves Las Vegas, and he loves this area, and he really is pushing for this international event. So, yeah, we've got people coming from all different countries. We've got Chile represented in South America, Central America, Mexico, and then the United States. We've got some pros that are going to be coming to Las Vegas, which is pretty exciting in the racquetball world. So the promotion of racket sports is what the Racquetball Association is promoting. They really want to make Las Vegas as a racket destination. That's what Gary's pushing for. He loves the town. It's good for economic development. It's good for lodgers tax. It brings dollars to the community. They had it in Albuquerque, this international event for 40 years, I believe. And because of the facilities and the relationships over there, he just opted to say, hey, let's go to Las Vegas and let's start promoting that there. Albuquerque was impacted by, I don't know, $2-3 million a year in benefits as far as economic development and money spent. So we right now have probably 130 participants.
and hopefully it continues to grow, and we can bring those millions of dollars of development to Las Vegas. So that's the angle. The Racquetball Association is a nonprofit organization. Lucas has done his due diligence to make sure the fees are equitable. I believe the first time we were here, it was a little unorganized, but I think we paid $300-400. They have assessed a fee to us, of course, and we want to continue to work on that and increase that. We're also working with Highlands University with their courts, City of Las Vegas, and we're also doing squash at the World College. So in a nutshell, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All good things.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Montoya.
I'll move that we approve this memorandum of understanding between the City of Las Vegas and Mexico Racquetball Association.
Motion by Councilman Montoya. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to acknowledge, Mr. Lopez and his business partners for acquiring the Castaneda. It's good that somebody local is getting it, and they're going to be able to expand on the good things that are happening there.
Thank you,
So,
Mayor.
thank
you,
you.
Mayor.
It's a benefit to the community.
And we'll be coming to you guys with liquor license approvals and all kinds of other good stuff, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
you.
Appreciate you guys.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our next item, request to reschedule the September 17th, 2025 regular council meeting to September 15th, 2025. As you all know, Mayor and three councilors will be attending the annual conference at the New Mexico Municipal League, as well as some directors and other staff members. And we'll be there September 16th through the 19th. Therefore, we have to change our regular council meeting, and I'm requesting that we change it to that Monday of the 15th.
Councilors? Entertain a motion.
We go ahead and approve this, Mr. Mayor.
A motion by Councilman Montoya. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr.
if I could, we do have Gerald from the Tierra y Montes, and I just wanted to say on the record that they've been excellent at being a partner and are going to be helping us on other initiatives, and so I appreciate that and wanted to note, he sat here all evening waiting for the item, and I know is appreciative that it was expedited, but I wanted to note on the record the work we do at Tierra y Montes, and that we want to continue that partnership, and thank him very much for his efforts.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to item number 7, request approval to award request for proposal 2025-33 to INC Solutions, Alpha Southwest, and James Cook and Hobson for pump motor mechanical and electrical services, and enter into contracts. We have our water director, Mr. Travis Martinez.
Mayor, Council, we've had this contract with the city previously. It's already expired the 4 years. This is just a renewal. These are the three top contractors for this contract that have been selected by the committee, so I stand for any questions.
Mr. Martinez, just for the record, is on call as needed. Am I correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
On-call and technical assistance.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Councilors?
Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
I'll go ahead and move to approve to award RFP 2025-33 to INC Solutions, Alpha Southwest, and James Cook and Hobson for pump motor mechanical and electrical services, and enter into contracts.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, request approval to award request for proposal 2026-01 to Park Hill and Sauter Miller and Associates for solid waste facility planning, design, and construction phase engineering services, and enter into contract. We have our gas solid waste director, Mr. David Marcus.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I come forward to you guys to be able to try to get your guys' recommendation on moving forward on both these contractors that were just listed through the RFP.
Councilors?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Montoya?
You know, this item, as we had our Saturday's cleanup, Ward 2 cleanup, it showed pretty well indeed the need for this contract and the need for some planning and designing for that place, for the facility. And I know you have good plans, you have great plans, and you see the problems that you're having up there. And I'm glad to see that somebody's going to take the initiative to follow this through. And this contract is going to help him to bring us the information that we need in the planning and designing of a 1970s facility, you know. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I move that we award RFP 2026-01 to Park Hill and Solid Miller and Associates for the solid waste facility planning and design and construction phase of engineering services and enter into this contract.
I have a motion by Councilman Montoya, second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Moving on to business item number 9, request approval to award request for proposal 2026-02 to Behan Houston Incorporated Waterworks Engineers and Stantec Consulting for wastewater planning, design, and construction phase engineering services and enter into contract. Mr. Travis Martinez.
Mayor, Council, this is another one of those contracts that we've had for the 4 years. We went back out. These are the top consulting firms that the committee has approved. I stand for any questions.
Councilors, what's your pleasure?
Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
we'll go ahead and move to approve award 2026-02 to Wahana Houston Incorporated Waterworks Engineers and Stantec Consulting and for water waste planning, design, and construction phase engineering services and enter into contract.
Motion by Councilman Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 10, request approval of memorandum of understanding between the City of Las Vegas and the 4th Judicial District Court. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, so this MOU comes about, Fourth District Judicial Court reached out about a recovery event, and there was some things that they had asked us, but to be in compliance with audit, we wanted to make sure an intergovernmental agreement or entity-to-entity agreement, so that's how this MOU came about. And if there's any questions, I don't know. See none, what's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
I'll go ahead and move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Las Vegas and the 4th Judicial District Court.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, second by Councilman Montoya. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Montoya. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to our last item, item number 11, request approval of an intergovernmental real estate lease between the City of Las Vegas and Tierra y Montes SWCD. Mr. City Manager Anaya.
Mr. Mayor, I jumped the gun earlier, my apologies.
Well, Mr. Anaya, I thought you had looked back there and maybe he was like falling asleep and you were going to wake him up. So we still had a few items left. Welcome, Joe.
Mayor and Council, I appreciate the ability to come forth before you. We did have an existing real estate lease agreement with the City of Las Vegas. We currently are under lease for 4 acres right next to the Solid Waste Department. That 20-year lease agreement expired 3 days ago. And, our payment interval was the 1st of January. When I pulled that lease up to start working on the renewal, I thought it was in December. And I appreciate the effort by the city manager, yourself, Mr. Mayor. We met on this last Monday. And I appreciate the ability to go ahead and extend this lease into an additional 10-year lease. Just so that you folks know, we have a very long-standing working relationship with the city of Las Vegas, probably spans 3 or 4 decades. You know, the district has always done riparian restoration projects, some thinning projects along the riparian corridor. We've also done some treatments around the reservoirs, and most recently, post-fire, have done probably over $10 million worth of EWP work to protect infrastructure at the city from the post-fire flooding. So we are a long-standing, committed partner. We appreciate the effort to be able to extend this lease. We have invested over $300,000 in the property. We've erected a steel building, and that serves primarily to store excess equipment that falls in line with chippers and tractors and other equipment that we need to be able to provide those forestry-type services to the landowners and also to the city. I worked with Mr. Lopez and some of your previous staff in offering the chipper free of charge to the city to go ahead and process material. So we're committed to continuing that relationship with you folks and hopefully to the approval of this agreement for the lease.
And Mr. Anaya, thank you, and I know Gerald, you know, and also Mr. Attorney, you know, we pushed this through as fast as we could so that way we wouldn't, overlaps in this agreement. And I know you probably barely had any time to review this, but we wanted to make sure we got it in the agenda so we don't have those issues. You're okay with everything that was presented?
Yeah, actually, did receive a draft that I was able to review, and we are in agreement with the terms, at least from my perspective. I do have a board meeting tomorrow morning where we'll present the whole package. It'd be ludicrous to think that they wouldn't approve it. But yeah, we are in agreement with the terms as shown.
And Mr. Manager, I don't know if you want to touch up, I know, we were talking with those other opportunities in collaborating with Tierras y Montes and, weeds and other, I mean, if you don't want to touch up on that?
Mr. Mayor, yeah, my apologies. I apologize for, like I said, jumping the gun, but I do believe we're going to have more and more opportunities to work with Tierra y Montes to expand on what's already been done. We're looking at the project in October, where we're going to be doing substantial continued brush removal for emergency and safety health issues in alleys and other areas around the city. So in addition to Public Service Company in New Mexico, Tierra y Montes, they've already brought other potential partners utilizing their equipment. And so I think there's more on the horizon. We'll keep the mayor and council apprised of those things as they advance, and then also provide updates as we move closer to the October targeted project. And so I would just note that on the record again, and thanks to mayor and council for continued work and efforts with Tierra y Montes.
Mr. Mayor, I just had one question. You mentioned the lease agreement was for how long?
It was actually in existence for 20 years
It has
prior
been in
to.
existence,
Yeah.
okay.
It was signed originally in 2005.
Right, I saw that, but moving forward, it would be for,
It's 10-year term on
it's
this
a
one.
10-year term?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah, and we're aware of that change, and we're fine with that. We may, on renewal, maybe consider some type of move to maybe potentially be able to purchase that property from your folks if it's beneficial to both parties. But for now, that lease extension really guarantees our ability to store equipment, and that's important to me because we have about $250,000 of equipment that's there too, so.
And legal counsel, if you don't mind, kind of maybe discussing as to how that recommendation came about, how you suggested that?
So based off the prior lease agreement, there was some deliverables that Tierra y Montes was to provide to the city, cleaning up that area. In my opinion, 20 years, I was under the impression that would probably be complete by now. And so the continuation of this lease would allow them to continue their operations elsewhere while still maintaining that. So I felt it appropriate in terms, at least from the city's perspective, to reduce the length of that lease, being that the original scope of the agreement 20 years ago was essentially completed at this point. That was the reason for the adjustment to a shorter term.
Thank you.
I just want to note that it's nice to see all these names on this contract. Henry O. Sanchez, Mayor; Shirley Yara, City Clerk; John Avila, City Manager; Esther Garduño, City Attorney, David Marquez, Finance Director, and Francis Martinez, Tierra y Montes. You know, those were all great, are great people. Some of them are gone, but you know what? Those people really helped this city move forward. Yeah, I noticed the difference was $1 per year versus 1,600, and from 20 years to 10 years. I thank you for the job that you do, you and your staff. You're there for the community. You've been there with us through the fires. You've been at a lot of meetings. You're well informed of what we're doing, what you're doing, what everybody else is trying to move this city forward. And I support this wholeheartedly, Mr. Mayor. This is a building that we own that I don't know if we should have just given it to you already, you know? But anyway, request to approval, I move, Mr. Mayor, that we approve this intergovernmental real estate lease between the City of Las Vegas and Tierra y Montes. Thank you for your service.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Montoya, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Manager?
Mr. Mayor, I feel it appropriate to just make a comment associated with the intensity and level of commitment that everybody has, mayor, council, staff, consultants, and everybody associated with all projects around the whole city. And I just want to put on the record that I'm a man occupying a space and time. I respect that. And I operate with candor for sure, but without malice moving forward. And I will do that as I sit here in respecting of the mayor and the full council and everybody in this room and the community at large.
Concludes our agenda, Mr. Mayor.
So Gerald, I guess you heard it from a sitting councilor here. If you want to, maybe let your board know that might be an option, and I mean, I think we're great partners, and if that's something maybe, moving forward, you have discussions with city manager and go from there. I mean, hey, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Olivari, second by Councilman Martinez.